Hey, what's up guys, and today I'm going to bring you a different kind of video. So from Sundays from now on, I think I'm going to post kind of a news/topic video, just talking about some things separated from my regular weekly videos that delve more into the newsy end type stuff. This would be more of a news/opinion thing, or a reaction to certain news articles like that. So if you guys want to have my opinion for some of these things, then stick around, but there also is going to be facts loaded in here so that we can have context for my opinion. And with that being said, let's just dive in, and this is what we're going to be doing from Sunday from now on. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the state of Soul Calibur and fighting games. Mainly Soul Calibur. As most of you know, a lot of my channel is centered around Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur 6 and everything around it. There was a lot of bad that came out with this game as well as good. It's pretty split divisively amongst the fan base of people who thoroughly enjoy the game, people who played it and put it down, and people who want to see it come back. I fall into all three of those categories actually. I did go hard when it first came out. A lot of the things kind of struck me as disingenuous with the create a character system when the game first launched. I don't feel like it was completed. It was a little bit, it had less stuff than, it had more stuff in the beginning than Soul Calibur 5 did in the beginning, but towards the end of Soul Calibur 5's life cycle, it actually had more that were included. There's still some things that are not back from 5 as of yet, and there's a lot of new things that were added, but there are some also things that were taken away and some things that were hidden behind different race classes and stuff like that, which is something we've talked about and touched on in other previous videos, but that's something that I felt was kind of a hindrance, not a help. It actually made the game seem more forced than it did before, so obviously I wanted that to change, and a lot of people I think did too. But there's something that we haven't glanced over. A lot of people will comment on certain posts I make about Soul Calibur, be it on Twitter or on Instagram, or even comments in the comment section talking about how Soul Calibur 6 is a dead game. Soul Calibur 6 is not a dead game, and that's why Season 2 was announced. And whatever speculation we want to garner from Season 2 coming out, I have made videos on that in the past, as well as many other people. That's not going to be this video. We know about the leaks and the codes and all that stuff, so you can go back, and I'll probably link to those videos on the end card of this if you wanted to check out my actual opinion on who's going to be in Season 2. But for now, mainly what's carrying the community that I've seen thus far is the fighting game community. So the esports and all that stuff. Soul Calibur 6 is a popular fighting game to be played in esports. It's one of the... I strive myself to say more balanced, but I mean, it depends. There's also things in this game that were worse from 5, like Reversal Edge and stuff like that, that were integrated into the combos. But now all the characters have new moves after the new update, and balance has been restored, I want to say. And the fighting game community via esports, even though I'm not too huge into esports or playing games competitively, they have taken this game and turned it into a staple of tournaments, and it's one of the bigger ones actually. And this keeps up with Twitch viewership. This also keeps up with concurrent viewers on YouTube, and how it's linked to the PlayStation 4 storefront where you can see who's streaming and whatnot. And there are a lot of concurrent viewers. There's games that came out with a lot more hype behind them that died out super quickly. I'm looking at you, Jump Force, and they can't stay as long as it's been. I mean, it's been over a year now, and we are looking forward to Season Pass 2, and hopefully they give us more fixes with that. I mean, there are some still issues with other parts of the game besides the create a character. A lot of those have to do with clipping and stuff like that, and locking behind gender and race and all that. But my biggest concern about this game is that the actual casual community fizzles out. I don't want to see the casual community fizzle out, because those are the ones that hype it up the most. The esports people, if it's dropped from whatever tournament, they'll move on to something else. They move on to a Tekken 7 or a Dead or Alive, or any of numerous games that litter those tournaments. Fighters is a big one too. But with that being said, I don't want to quench out the soul that is still being burned. I think that this community does have a passion for this game, and a lot of us have played since the first one. A lot of us have played before the first one, played Soul Edge, or Soul Blade. I know that I'm amongst them. So there's a lot of people that want to see this actually grow into something much better than it is, and much bigger than it is. And hopefully we don't go too far into the esports. That's why I don't want the casuals to give up on the game, because if it goes towards that, then we're going to lose features like other fighting games have done in the past. We'll probably lose a story mode. We'll probably lose the extra modes, that like the weapons modes that they had in games past. This time it was Libra of Souls, and Soul Calibur 2 was something else, and Soul Calibur 3 was Chronicles of the Sword, which I think was actually superior to Libra. But I don't want to lose that extra stuff, because to me, Soul Calibur is still a primarily single-player / couch fighting game, if that makes any sense. They have all the features online, they have all the same stuff as other fighting games do, all the mainstream entries, but I see it as more of a niche within the fighting game community, and amongst casuals, it's strongly beloved, but not so much as it was since days of Soul Calibur 2 and Soul Calibur 3. A lot of people really like Soul Calibur 4. To me, Soul Calibur 4 is probably the weakest entry in the entire series. Soul Calibur 5 had its issues, but it did try to expand a lot upon what Soul Calibur 4 presented, and Soul Calibur 6 did the same thing for 5, but it also has taken away features and taken away stuff. And I just would like to see a return to that, or added features. There's plenty of other instances and precedent of games adding modes and features after the life cycle of the game to try and reinvigorate it. A good example would be Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, when they added the figure battle mode, the Hero Coliseum. That reinvigorated some hype, and it reinvigorated some people to jump back into the game, probably people that have put it down and haven't put it down for a while because of balance issues in the game and fighting. When you have a puzzle format, it's a lot easier to balance that than it is an actual fighting game. So it'll be nice to see some kind of things like that. Other games have implemented mini games such as that in the past. Like I know Mortal Kombat, I think it was Deception, had chess combat, and I think Deception actually had Puzzle Fighter, which was my favorite one. Then they had chess combat. They had the motor racing. It's not a goofy game like Mortal Kombat, so I don't expect Mortal like Soul Calibur Racing. It would be nice to see some kind of other mini games implemented in that, and I think it would keep it alive. I do not want to see a Soul Calibur 6 too soon, and I don't think we will. I don't think there's any reason to believe that. I think if we do get a Soul Calibur 7, it will probably most likely be the middle to the end of the PlayStation 5's life cycle. So we would be looking at 2024 or something like that, 2023. Soul Calibur games often don't come out like super fast after its competitor. The only game that actually had 2 iterations on one console was the PlayStation 3 with Soul Calibur 4 and Soul Calibur 5. Before that, on PlayStation 2, we did have Soul Calibur 2 and Soul Calibur 3, but Soul Calibur 2 was more of a multi-cross-platform. That was like to kind of launch the game in like out of its obscurity that it had by introducing characters such as Link and Spawn and Heihachi, even though most of us didn't really want Heihachi Mishima in the game. But that's like all that's left to be said about that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about what you think about Soul Calibur and where you want to see the series go in the future. The second issue I want to talk about today is Pokemon. I was one of those people on the Pokemon Sword and Shield fans that was like, no national decks, I'm not going to buy. Especially when I saw the initial leaked list, which has now been fully expanded upon, and they're adding more Pokemon all the time. But before, some of my favorites weren't in there, like Mewtwo's my favorite Pokemon, as you can probably see. I also am a huge fan of Lapras and the like, and now I know Lapras has been integrated back in, Lucario's in the game, so I kind of can accept if Mewtwo's not there, even though I kind of want him to be back in. And I now get the kind of argument that people were expounding to me before, that we have all these other Pokemon games so we can play them in. And like, I do want to be able to use a Pokemon Bank-esque feature in on the Switch, and I hope that it happens soon, because Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, while fun, were more of a introduction for kids into the series that maybe haven't played it before, and harping on the whole Switch like the population of Switches that are out there, being that it is number 2 in the console generation in the United States. So, with that being said, I do kind of understand the fact now that people should be wanting features over the national dex. There's a whole host of new Pokemon, and while I hope that they do add and add and add, and that the next game actually has a national dex, I'm fine with Sword and Shield for now not. It will pain me to not have all of my favorites in there, but it also will help me because I saw an argument from someone stating that those of us who have been playing forever, because I've been playing since Red and Blue, literally have teams that we specifically use, and they're teams that haven't changed much over the years, and they're teams that probably should change, and that goes for me also. Like every time I port over to a new game, the first thing I do is I pop over my Pokebank in 3DS and I bring over the Pokemon that I had as my main team in the last game, and then for the rest of the game, like whatever I catch is what I catch. The only Pokemon game where I've actually gotten all of the Pokemon was probably Pokemon Y. Completely legitimately, usually through trades and the global thing and all that stuff, the GCC. But I had all 722 Pokemon in that game, and I had about 60% of their shinies. And I spent so much time in that game that it's like almost more than all the other Pokemon games I've played combined. So I am not really crazy about doing that in this game. I would like to see the features in the open world and just the new things that Game Freak are bringing to us, so hopefully that doesn't disappoint. The Gigantamax thing is like kind of gimmicky. I get it, it's fun. I just wish that they would stick to a gimmick and bring it over towards every game, and out of every game have its own specific gimmick. Like I liked Mega Evolutions, that was great, but then we took Mega Evolutions and we turned it into Z moves, and then we're taking Z moves and we're turning it into Gigantamax. Like I just wish that they would either keep all of them and let you choose which one for which Pokemon can help which item and to do which thing, or I wish they would just like take one thought and move it forward and integrate it into the next game the way that they think they should. I liked Mega Evolution. I kind of wish that would be a steady mainstay. As of now, I'm not sure if it's going to be in Sword and Shield. I don't think it is. As far as I know, it was only in Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, X and Y, and I don't think it was in Sun and Moon. I think Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon had the Z moves, but anyway, so I understand that I can't use my team in this, and I'm probably going to be fine with that because I can still use them in all the other Pokemon games that I have. And my argument to those people before was, but I want to play it in the next game. Yeah, I still do, and I hope, even if they do put Mewtwo in the game, I'm not going to be as close-minded as to think that that's everyone's favorite, because everyone's got their own favorite, especially Legendary. And I don't want to see people be like, oh, well, Mewtwo got in, he's so old, how come Zekrom's not in? Or how come Lugia's not in, like this. I know Lugia is in, he's version exclusive, but that is basically what I wanted to say about Pokemon where I'm at right now. I have decided to pick it up day one. I don't think there's going to be a third version of the game. There's going to be a Sword Shield and then whatever, because they haven't really done that in a while. The last time I've actually seen them do that was, I don't know, there hasn't been like a Diamond or an Emerald in a while. Because they had, with White and Black, they had White 2 and Black 2, and then with Sun and Moon, they had Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. They didn't have like a third version of the game that everyone bought that had everything in it. Usually they're trying to probably prey upon people's wallets a little bit so that you can buy both versions of the game and then buy both versions of the game again. So let's see where they're going to go from that, but I am going to be picking up Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm going to be personally playing Sword. I think my wife is going to be playing Shield. And that's my thoughts on that. So this has been the first Sunday Let's Talk video, and I hope you guys join me in my regular weekly video, and I hope if you liked it, then you can subscribe, and we'll talk about this more in the comment section down below. I definitely want to hear what you guys think about both of these topics that we covered, and if you want to reach out to me on my social media and give me a comment, every time you comment me or put something in my comment section, there is a chance it's going to show up in another future video. If you look back at my past videos, I have a tendency of doing that because I appreciate everyone who subscribes to me. And that's going to be the video for today, guys. We've talked about it, we've covered it, and now it's time to turn the question over to you. So that's going to be the video for today, guys. As always, stay powered up. Peace.